Hello, this is Daniel from Mira BMX Builds. Now, I don't like to sugarcoat things, and I'm just not going to. Um, I'm a Christian man, and even in the Bible, it tells you not to be passive, not to be an Ahab. And when people step on your toes, you show them grace and humility. And when they decide to leash out, then sometimes it's time to just, shove them away and speak the truth from the rooftops. And so, I have a video here where may or may not be pretty, don't care. I'm an ex timber fuller. I'm saved, thank the Lord, and do things a little more mellower nowadays and handle things a little differently. Normally, I would just buy a plane ticket and handle some situations. But if you're going to be buying and selling online, especially if you've been a proven buyer or seller, to where, let's say, your money went through, your word goes through, you went above and beyond to make the person comfortable, things like that. I have a little story. I got a guy, actually, I have two. They'll both know who they are, but the one wasn't really that big of a deal. It was I offered a part for a price on a part, and then I gave that price, and then was told I'm on my way, pay me now, which made me nervous because I stated this price, show me your shipping and everything like that. Being at the post office, I'll square up, we're good to go. And on the way said, hey, plus shipping, and then also sent me immediately a PayPal request that needed to be paid right that moment with the PayPal fees. So not a big deal had this been beforehand talked about. So that threw me off a little bit. So there was one situation, and it was kind of like, I'm gonna kick it around a little bit. This is kind of weird. Then all of a sudden it was a holiday and couldn't make it down there. Have to be the next week. And I thought about it over the weekend, and then I seen the bike said pending sale with that part on there still. So do I know if I was gonna ever get that part? I don't know. Another instance, and it isn't just me. It's been a few people that are out there, and I will vouch for you all day long. But if you're out of sorts, I'm going to shout that from the rooftops all day long. I'm going to do this as honestly as possible, as nice as possible. Um, I will never sugarcoat anything. If there's something that needs to be talked about price wise, that or where it came from exactly, I'm just not gonna lie. I'm just, if you get asked me, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to leave some details out and things in my videos and such. But in this certain instant, when I first started building this bike, the white one, I don't know why I keep pointing like you can see. Anyways, I'm new. A wheel set came up, and it was a little odd at first because I got told about the wheel set. I messaged the guy. The guy said, yes, I have the wheel set, and wasn't really sure about selling it. Not a big deal. So some time goes by, and then I said, hey, I was, wanting to get that wheel set. Sounds like you need something else. Maybe I can find the one that you're looking for and buy it and switch you or something. And it was kind of like, oh, yeah, I don't know. And then she sent me some pictures that were older pictures. And I said, hey, can I get some pictures with you in them or something so I feel more comfortable? It's a lot of money. I was given a price, and some more time went by, which is still kind of odd. And but it is what it is. Maybe the guy was deciding I didn't want to buy or sell that just yet. Not a big deal. So then it came down to like, okay, I'll sell them, and then a big like, hey, a huge like bunch of list of parts just start popping up, and like, hey, you need all this stuff, and I was like, I don't really need all that stuff. I just kind of want the wheels and that's it. So we talked a little bit, and then finally was getting to the point where like I can finally buy these wheels. Well, I don't have PayPal, I have Venmo. So I was like, okay, well, I have Venmo. Can I like PayPal some or Venmo somebody and they can PayPal you? Not a big deal. And then it came down to no. I do PayPal, and I said, okay, well, I think you can send me an invoice to my email, and I can pay it with my debit card, and then you can ship it to me. Again, big old long list of pictures popping up of stuff I don't need. And I've said several times, I don't build Nyquist bikes. It's not like I have anything against Nyquist. I'm just currently building a Mira bike, and I need the parts for a Mira bike. And so it gets down to I paid up, and then I start getting this sob story like, hey, I paid more money for these and blah blah, and I feel like I'm losing on it here. And I said, and you told me a price. You gave me a price, but out of the kindness of my heart, I sent over some more money. And I said, okay, we'll make the invoice a little bit more. So I paid additional money above the asking ship price. So pay for it. Day goes by, maybe even two, and then the next thing I know, I'm getting some tracking, and then I get a big, huge sob story. Man, the shipping costs so much, and blah blah, and I just, and it's just a sob story. And I'm like, dude, I already paid you over what you asked for. It's not my fault. When you guys post something at a price and you backtrack and everything, that's not cool. Like, if I've done that to somebody, I didn't mean to, because a lot of times I'll forget prices and then they'll bring it up later and they're like, hey, I thought you said, and I'm like, crap, I did. You're right. No, I'm staying on my word. Anyways, so I got this big long sob story to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to mail an additional $50. How about that? I'll just cash money, because I got a big sob story about how it's taxes and blah, blah, and get taken out of it. And I'm like, dude, this is just ridiculous. And so out of the kindness of my heart, again, I went out of my way. I left work, which I don't ever do, and I put some cash in an envelope and sent it off. And so some days goes by, and he gets some money. He says thank you, and so now I'm paying like almost $100 over what he was asking for the wheel set, shipped price. And then I get this big load of like, hey, these parts. So he kept getting this seat shoved down my throat, and I'm like, dude, I don't need the seat. I don't need a blue seat for anything. And so I said, I'll buy it, I guess. And I have records of the messages from the first time you quoted me for the seat. And I said, I guess I'll take the module lever that you got and some brake stuff. And I don't know what I'm going to use it on, but I'll just buy it because I just felt bad. Guy must be going through a hard time, and he's, he needs some money. I get it. I'll just buy it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll use it on something, or somebody else could use it. I don't know. And I got a price for those, and some time went by, and I was like, I don't know. And he's like, hey, would you like these parts? Another bunch of pictures in a row. I've already seen all these parts a million times at this point. And I said, yeah, sure. Well, how about this, that, and this? And then I got another price, and it was much greater than the price that we originally talked about. And so I said, hey, this is the price that you said. And then he said, I'm just going through my notes, and I can't lose money on this stuff. And I was like, well, you told me this price, And he said, I get that, but I need to get what I paid for these things. I'm already losing money as it is. I penciled down what each part was, and I'm going through that, and I'm just not losing money. I left it at that. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm done. I don't need the parts. I was trying to help you out. I didn't say any of this to him. I let it go. A couple weeks goes by, messages, are you getting the parts? Didn't answer. I'm like, I'm still frustrated. Like, I still, to this day, fight just getting a plane ticket and going and handling stuff. So I was like, I got to let it go. It's fine, whatever. And I was talking to another guy who was having a problem with the same guy. And I knew who it was. I didn't want to tell the guy that I knew who it was. And he was like, yeah, I'm kind of having this issue. And he just made me feel weird and shoving stuff down my throat. And I knew exactly what was going on. And as he's talking about this, I get another message come across my screen. And it's him saying, oh, just Mr. Big Shot, all-star, but you don't have a USA frame. Just taking stabs at me now. Like, who cares if I don't have a USA frame? You have a USA frame with not even a single part to go on the dang thing, so what's the good in it? And here I am with 10 of them. Like, who cares? And I got stuff on the way that you have no idea about. And you guys don't have no idea about, but you will. But I'm just letting you know, there's proper etiquette to buying and selling. Like, I'm not going to go out and ruin my reputation when I have a pile of parts to buy still and stick to my word. And I've got a lot of trades going on and this and that. And I can't, like, not ship things, and I can't, like, tell you different prices. And if I do, it's by mistake, and then let me know. But, like, in this case, I said, hey, you told me this price, thinking maybe he just forgot. And he said, no, I can't do that. That's just not cool. Like we're all in this together. We're all in here to try to help each other out, and just be upfront about things, like just say, hey, I just can't do that price. I need, more money right off the bat. The wheel situation, like, yeah, I got a good deal on the wheels. I get that. But don't give me a sob story the entire time you're selling me those things where I send you more money, and then give me another sob story after you ship it about how it costs so much, and then I send you more money, and then you blow up about some other crap. It's just, there's many things to this. I want to keep this mirror specific, but I'm going to touch bases on things, and if you step on my foot on something, I'm going to call you out. So beware of people who sit up late, and maybe he's having a bad time. I don't know. Everybody should know who it is that watches this, but don't take that out of me. Don't go taking stabs at me on the pages, because I don't have any USA frames that aren't in the mail yet, that aren't here from the mail yet. And I'm about to have twice as many as you got, and you're selling yours. So how about that? In fact, they're not even just a frame, they're bikes. So there you go, a little sneak peek to what's coming up. And it's just blatant disrespect, and I don't know if it's jealousy or if it's like, hey, I ran into this anything, right? So I did this in Timberfallen. I got into Timberfallen and I said, hey, I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to know what I'm doing, and I'm going to learn everything here, and I'm going to be better than every one of you around me, and then I'm going to be better than everybody else that does this. And I set out to do that. That's just how I am. I did that in the saw world. I learned how to port saws. I became one of the world's foremost saw builders. And that's just what I do. Now my mind's on these right now. I'm going to learn these things, and if there's things that people are hiding that they're going to get jealous about, I'm going to put the information out there so guys like me who tried to build that first bike that whined and cried over the freaking wheels, yeah, I'm talking to you, Jason. I could not find anything on anything. Museum, yes, there's pictures of bikes. There's like, hey, Dave rode this frame and this bike. There's not a lot of detailed description on crank lengths and the exact origin of where the crank came from, and that his frame wasn't Taiwan on some of them, and he rode all USA frames, and he didn't say that he was on a prototype bike the year before with that parts of that year when the frame that we're looking at in that picture came out the year prior. Like, there's so many little things in between stuff that it's not even funny. Like, I was watching a video not too long ago. A guy said, hey, I grew up riding Flatland, and I watched everything in Steel Shots in a BMX magazine, and so we just did the best we could while we are looking at our pictures and stuff of how to figure out how that trick, and like, how did he get into it? How does his style look? We don't know. Then the movie Rad came out, and it was like in motion. It blew their minds. They're like, dude, it's no longer a steel shot. I can see how they got up into that trick. I can see how their body moves around and how they twisted the bike a certain way. We could see the style. That's all I'm doing, is I'm painting a picture in between what is out there, because I'm telling you, through the BMX museum, through talking guys in the group, I got pretty far with learning how to build that one bike. But there's a lot of things that are missing, and I would like to compile them all into one spot and put it out there. Like, I can't sit here and do this on the BMX museum. It's not that type of an outlet. There's things in articles and pictures that you just can't cover and you can't do. And I can't zoom in and show you close-ups and stuff. A lot of those pictures, you can't even tell what's in those pictures. So, proper etiquette. Shipping and buying. Proper etiquette on getting along. And stepping on people's toes, I'm telling you, not everybody's a soft-handed bike builder, and not everybody's a soft-handed person. And a lot of us will not take people's crap. So, there's that. I'm a very happy, jolly-go-lucky guy. If you step on my foot, I'm going to yell ow in your face, and I'm going to push you off my foot. So, just so we have all that clear. God's good.